Hello, welcome to the first ever EG Money Oscars. Since I started my song called last September, and the real Oscars are going right now at the time that I'm filming this, I figured why not? So I came up with this idea a while in advance. So I put out voting a few days ago. Not many people voted, but that's on them. But from the votes I did get, I had a few tiebreakers that I had to do where I had to put in my own opinion. Don't worry, my vote does not overrule anybody else's. It's just purely for fixing up some loose ends, if you will. So with that out of the way, instead of putting movies and stuff against each other, I'm putting my songs against my songs. Yep. I know, it sounds kind of ludicrous, kind of weird, but I figured it would just be fun to do, just get people to vote, see what their favorites are. So with that out of the way, we might as well begin this. One more thing why I actually did this with the Oscars instead of the Grammys is because I came up with this idea after the Grammys had already came out, so I couldn't really do anything about that, and I really wanted to do this just because I thought it would be fun. I think I mentioned that before. But anyways, without further ado, we are going to go on to the first category right now, Best Song. And the nominees, okay, we are pulling this up right now, okay? So, the nominees, Pizza on the Pizza, Sweet Scuba Steve, and Mrs. Kowalski. And as for the winner, Pizza on the Pizza. No surprise, I'm pretty sure basically everybody was expecting that. But I would have picked Sweet Scuba Steve. That's actually what I put in for my vote. But, what can you do? I put the votes out. I said, here, the people can vote. I didn't do anything with this. Well, I did the counting and, but what can you do? It's a good song, though. I would have just personally went with Scuba Steve. One more thing I would like to add before moving on is that the Oscars, I know, usually has about 5 things per category, give or take. But here's the thing. I had 5 songs I released last year, so doing that would kind of defeat the whole purpose of doing this. So that would just make it kind of pointless. So that's why I did 3. Because I thought it was a pretty decent number. And I was able to come up with enough nominees for each category that way. Okay, so next category is Best Beat. Nominees, Pizza on the Pizza, Smarks, and Kowalski. And the winner, Pizza on the Pizza. Yeah, I didn't count Sweet Scuba Steve for this because it wasn't an original beat. It wasn't even really much of a beat in the first place. So that's why I didn't count it. Otherwise, that would have probably made it if it was an original beat that I came up with. It would have definitely had my vote. But I actually voted for Smarks. I think that beat that I actually found that beat online too, but it was it's one of my favorite beats out there, honestly. So I love that beat so much. I wish for the real song I would have sped it up a bit, just because I felt like the pacing was too slow, but that is just me. I know that was after that song is when my plays started to go down. That doesn't have anything to do with the quality of the song itself, but so yeah, Pizza on the Pizza actually won that one as well. This next category, Best Lyrics, so the nominees for this one is Pizza on the Pizza, Kowalski, and Sweet Scuba Steve. I know it seems like each song is getting nominated for a lot so far, but I only had 5 songs last year because I started so late in the year. So what can you really do, right? So the winner for this one was actually a bit of a tough call because here's the thing. All 3 of them, this is going to sound really weird, but all 3 had actually the same number of votes. So I had actually voted for Sweet Scuba Steve, and then the other 2 songs both had they had the same number of votes as well, so I had to actually change my vote so that I would actually be able to determine a winner, and that winner is actually Kowalski. Yes, finally something that isn't Pizza on the Pizza that won an award, but if I had more votes, I would have kept my vote how it was, but I had to change it. I really like some of the lyrics in Pizza on the Pizza, I saw a hot girl, we meet and we speak, so she sweet, so that's honestly my favorite part in the song, but you know, what can you do if you don't have anybody voting? Well, I mean, I shouldn't say that. There was like less people than I voted for. Let's just keep it that way, okay? So, yes, that is pretty much it for best lyrics. Okay, next category, best concept. The nominees, Leif Erikson. Yes, it actually finally got a nomination. Sweet Scuba Steve again, and Pizza on the Pizza again. So, the winner of this one is actually Sweet Scuba Steve, which I did have to take in my vote into consideration to break the tie. So that is how that one won. I can see why everybody always like is raving about Pizza on the Beats or whatever. I actually had one voter that actually voted for it for every category. So that is why it is partially, a lot of people say it's my best song, which is actually how it won the best song. So I know that kind of goes without saying, but you know, that's just how it is sometimes. Okay, next category, best cover art. This was a pretty interesting one to like look through all my cover art and see which one I liked the best, or which ones I thought would best represent the category. And the ones I came up with was Leif Erikson, Pizza on the Pizza, and Mrs. Kowalski's super spicy birthday rap. Yes, I know some of these just seem to be sweeping the awards, but what can you do when you only have 5 songs in a year? This year, hopefully, I'll have a lot more than 5. So the winner of this one is Mrs. Kowalski, which is honestly pretty ironic because that's the one cover art that I mostly did not work on that one, because my friend that we collabed on that, you know, we collabed, so he actually designed most of the cover art. I put in a few touches, like actually adding Mrs. Kowalski super spicy birthday rap into the text. And then, so yeah, that's pretty funny how the one that I barely worked on, the one cover art I barely worked on is the one that ended up winning, but yeah, that's how it goes sometimes, you know? And finally, we have actually reached the final category, best guest appearance. This one was pretty difficult to actually come up with 3 nominees, but I have Patrick from Leif Erikson, SpongeBob from Leif Erikson, and Christian from Mrs. Kowalski. And the winner of this one, Christian from Mrs. Kowalski, it was a blowout, honestly, because I didn't have a lot of material to work with for this category, so I just figured I might as well count SpongeBob and Patrick, even though it was more stock audio from, like, the past, from, like, the episode of Bubble Buddy. So, yeah, that is basically it. I don't have much to say on this one, but I do want to give a huge shout out to Christian for collabing on that track, because that was honestly super fun to do that. Spending like a half hour just of advisement. It's kind of like a study hall for those of you who don't know. We just spent like a half hour working on it, practicing our lines, and the end product, for those who have actually had Kowalski, I think you'd be able to get most of the inside references. But for those who don't, just appreciate the beat. Yes, so thank you for all of those who participated in the voting for this. I didn't get as many votes as I wanted to, as I believe I did mention that earlier, but it was still a lot of fun to make, and I hope that you all enjoyed watching this, or if you voted in it, I hope you enjoyed voting in it as well. So that is it for this time, and I will see you at the next EG Money Oscars, or just my next song in general.